In a recent video, I recorded a lesson wearing this t-shirt, Sao Paulo, but I didn't show you the other side, the back side of my shirt. So let me show you the back side of my shirt. As if you didn't already know that Sao Paulo is in Brazil, it has to say Brazil in the back so Americans know where Sao Paulo is. Because believe it or not, too many Americans don't have much of a geography lesson. They don't know where Sao Paulo is. Although Sao Paulo is 11 million people, you would think Americans would know in general where Sao Paulo is, but it's frustrating to talk to Americans who are not very well educated with their geography. Anyway, today, let's talk about what and which. Now, I know in Portuguese, the word qual is used both for what and which within its context. Of course, you know when qual should be used. But in English, when translated, what or which both say qual. So how do you know what word to use? I should say, which word to use? Here's why. Which is used when the options are few. We have limited options of choices. Suppose we had an option choice of 2 or 3. In that case, we would use the word which. But at what point do we use the word what? Now, what is used to describe a choice of many. But the question is, how many? At what point does which become what? Right? That's what you're thinking. And you know what? That's what I'm thinking. It's safe to say when you have a choice of 100, 200, 300, 400, whatever, in that case, what is clearly defined. What would be the correct word? But at what point does which end and what begins? That's a gray area. In other words, it's kind of undecided, and either word would be okay. But if you get to the option of choices and so forth of, let's say, 6, 7, 8 choices of something, then it's safer to use what. So let's go over some sentences and we'll describe some of these scenarios. In question number 1, I ask, which or what day is better? Monday or Tuesday? Here's the scenario. I want to meet with you and you want to meet with me, but our options are few. Either Monday or Tuesday. We have only a choice of 2 here. We have a very limited choice. In that case, we're going to use which. No question about that. No doubt about that. Which day is better? That is correct English. Which day is better? Because we only have 2 choices. Now, would you be surprised that Americans will say, what day is better, Monday or Tuesday? Yes, they will. Why? Because Americans don't really care how they talk. They really should care about their own language, but you, learning English, you need to know correct and incorrect and why. And then, after you speak English, and people know what you are saying, and you know what you are saying, if you confuse the words, it's not going to be that much of a problem. My point is this. When learning English, you want to learn formal English first. And then you want to learn informal or slang or incorrect English. At that point, you know the difference between right and wrong English. But I want to teach you formal English first. And on occasion, we'll throw in some slang, we'll throw in some phrasal verbs, and just common, ordinary English talk. But these types of lessons, I want you to know what's correct and why. Let's get back to it. Sentence number 2. What or which day of the week will we meet? What or which day of the week will we meet? How many days are there in a week? 7. So because we have 7 days in the week, we have several options. At this point, with 7 options, the better word, is going to be what. Now, what? What day of the week will we meet? What day? No question about that. 7, choices of 7. No question that what is the better answer. Sentence number 3, I wouldn't be surprised if you already know this question. It's a very standard question people that learn new languages need to hear first or ask first. And the question is, which or what is your name? Which or what is your name? What's correct? Yes, it is. What's correct? What's correct? That's right. What is your name? Why not which? Well, because if we use which, you might have an option of only 5 or 6 different names at most. But when mothers have babies, they have multiple options to name their children, right? You might have 200 options to name your children. So in that case, since we have so many options, we're going to use what. Number 4. Now this gets a little bit tricky. What or which name is yours? Lucas, Rafael, Rodrigo, Samuel, or Gilberto? What or which? How many names do we have here? We have 5. Lucas, Rafael, Rodrigo, Samuel, Gilberto. We have 5 names. Since we have 5, we are at the point now where which becomes what. What is correct? What name is yours? What name? Again, if you were to say which name is yours, it would not necessarily be incorrect, but it is better at this point to use what. Next question. Blank time is it? What or which? What time is it? Which time is it? Which one is correct? What one is correct? What answer is correct? What is correct? What time is it? Why? Because there are many hours in the day, right? We have 24 hours, either daytime or nighttime, but a total of 24 hours in a calendar day. 24, clearly, what is correct? What time is it? Number 6, which or what time is best? 2 p.m. or 3 p.m.? Actually, to be truly honest with you, best is not the correct superlative. It should be better. Better. We'll get into that sometime in the future. But the correct question would be, blank time is better, 2 p.m. or 3 p.m.? How many options do we have? We have 2 options. In that case, which is definitely the correct word. Which time is better, 2 p.m. or 3 p.m.? So we will, in red, make that question word which. Number 7. Which or what house is yours? The brown or white? Correct. Which? Why? We have 2 options. Limited, very limited options. Which house is yours? Very good so far. Final question. Blank house is yours. The large green, small brown, white 2-story, red wood, or corner house. We have 5 here, right? Are we going to choose what or which? Well, the better option is going to be what? What house is yours? Large green, small brown, white two-story, redwood, or the corner house? Again, with this particular question, if you were to say which, it wouldn't necessarily be wrong, but it's more proper to say what. I know, we're splitting hairs. Splitting hairs. It's an idiom, and that means it could be either way. What or which doesn't really matter. We're splitting hairs, as if to say what difference does it make? Probably not much difference. But again, I want you to know what's correct and what is not correct and why. Thank you very much for joining me today. Click like. See you in the next video.